Today's just the start of the Big 12 and Power 5 talk to come. Listen to JJ and Alex Monday on your drive home. Afternoons from 3 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back. It is 1st and 12 right here with you. Happy Sunday morning to you, BYU fans. You okay today? Just checking in on you. Mitch, Harper, Alex, Kirry. Yeah, I mean, listen, bad loss for BYU last night, 45-13 at the hands of Iowa State. But we're kicking things off this hour, or this segment of the hour, to chat about the Big 12 featured game of the week, which we thought was going to just be another game where Oklahoma State was going to fire it up against UCF. But the Black Knights had something else in store for Oklahoma State, who was riding high and was likely on its way to a Big 12 championship game. By the way, 1st and 12 is always brought to you by Macy's. Happy shopping, freshest fruits and vegetables from your local farms and your local brands that you love to shop. Macy's, proud sponsors of 1st and 12. Mitch, that's as big of a weird result as we've seen this entire conference. We shouldn't have. We've seen weird things happen in this conference this year, so I guess we shouldn't be surprised. But this one still surprised me.
It was shocking to see UCF up 24-0 at the half, and then it just continued to pile on, and they end up with a 45-3 win. You know, I think this is one of the reasons and examples of why UCF coming into the season among the newcomers was viewed to maybe have the best chance to compete in the Big 12, because you do see the speed, you do see the athleticism from UCF. It's just clearly taken a while for it to come together, and to take down Oklahoma State the manner in which they did, that's a nice kind of jolt of energy for UCF. They've been pretty good since that Oklahoma game a few weeks back where they nearly took down the Sooners. So UCF's, trending up, and I think for these newcomers heading down the stretch, it's about kind of getting that momentum and excitement around your program heading into year two. It's easy to get excited for the first year and all the newness of being in the Big 12, the inaugural season. But once you settle in and reality kicks in, how's the attitude and excitement level in year two? I think this is kind of one of those energy boosters for a program like UCF, because people were wanting, Gus Malzahn, like it was his seat warming up, because is he just checked out? Is he just enjoying the Auburn fund, and he's just, enjoying life in Orlando, sunny Florida? And I just think this was a nice statement from them. They reminded people that they still have some great speed, and they're putting together a really good recruiting class, hovering around the top 25. Again, this was a much-needed momentum jolt for UCF going forward.
Think about how different the 5-5 record feels for UCF after their win last night to BYU's 5-5 record to Texas Tech's 5-5 record, right? When you look at all these teams, like Texas Tech right now is going, you know what, guys, we might be they're as good as anybody right now. I feel like they could show up,
yeah,
and they could play with anyone. I mean, UCF goes, hey, we beat Oklahoma State by 42 points. Like, that's as embarrassing. That's worse than, I would say that's worse than the USA, the Southern Alabama loss, even in Stillwater, because you're this far into the season, you started to gain all this momentum, and your middle finger to everybody else across the conference who said you guys didn't have it, and then you lay an egg like that. I mean, that could have single-handedly taken you out of any discussion of the Big 12 championship game, and so Oklahoma State might have ruined their season last night by not showing up in Orlando.
And Ollie Gordon, 12 carries, 25 yards. He's been probably the best running
Lights
back.
out.
He was getting some Heisman buzz coming into the
Yeah.
week, and then that's the performance. I mean, come on. Oklahoma State, total no-show. The good news for them is they somewhat still control their destiny with, only 2 losses in Big 12 play. They could still get to Arlington having that tiebreaker on Oklahoma, but, that it's just a real step back, and any chance of maybe being an at-large New Year's Six team, maybe that goes out the window now, because that was a humbling loss. But I think it's also a good sign, too, for the new Big 12 and the league that, hey, these newcomers, they can rise up once in a while. We haven't seen that much from BYU, but UCF's shown it. Houston even showed it against Texas. So
Yeah.
it's signs that these newcomers are stepping up in year one, even though the records aren't great, and they have struggled mightily this year. But, there's some better days ahead for these teams, and I just think that's maybe one of the bigger angles with UCF. But Oklahoma State, total missed opportunity by dropping that game at the bounce house. Yeah, there was rainy weather, but you got to get it done and show up. You can't have a complete no-show like they did. First and 12 brought to you by Macy's Grocery Store. Happy shopping. Get the freshest fruits and vegetables from local farms and your favorite local brands. Macy's. Happy shopping. Putting a bow on hour number 1. Hour number 2 coming up next. It's the Power Rankings, your favorite segment here on First and 12. Mitch Harper, Alex Kirry, KSL News Radio, the KSL Sports Zone, and it's powered by KSLSports.com.